these videos, we're going to show you how to build your product, your class product in CAD. And we're going to start by showing you how to just build the side, which is this part here. And we're going to start by drawing it in a sketch. And this is what it looks like. I've done one already, so I can show you what we're aiming for. So to create this, the first thing you need to do is go to File, go to New, and then Create New. All right, and then you will have a few different options on the side, or maybe just some, but you want to go for ENUS and then click on metric. That will highlight standard which means we're working in millimeters, and then you can press create. Here we go. I've now got a new document that I'm working on. To start with, create a 2D sketch up in the left corner, and you can pick this one here, which is going to be the right plane here. Okay, so you can select that plane, and there we go. We're now in 2D, and we've moved from our 3D tab to our sketch tab here, and we now have a sketch on the side. So we want to put the overall dimensions first of this side. We're going to go use the rectangular tool, click in the bottom corner here, and before you click again, don't click and drag, just literally click and move your mouse. You can see the height is highlighted here. We want this to be 137 millimeters. Don't press return, rather press the tab button, which then moves it to the kind of width, and we want that to be 445 millimeters. Now you can press return. We're really zoomed in on this, so we want to click this button here, which is called Zoom All. That will bring everything into focus that we can now see. The next thing I recommend you do right from the start is to create a central line for us to mirror around later. So I'm going to click the line tool, but importantly, at this point, I would click this button here, which is construction. Then hover over the middle, move it along until the little button here gets big, and that means you're right in the middle of the rectangle. We're going to click there and bring that down. Again, it will go big when there you go. It's locking onto the middle, and it's locking onto the other side as well. You can now click. Now you need to make sure you turn off this button. Once you've done that, click this button again so it's off. So we're not working with construction. You can see it's a dotted line. It's just there for measurements. Okay, the first thing I recommend you do is you draw your circle for the cutout. So round about here, select the circle tool and then click once, and you're going to bring it out. And before you click again, you want to press 73 like that, and that will now, and then press enter, and that's giving you your circle at 73 diameter. Then come and click the line button and hover over the center of the circle until you get to the top. Now, before I do this, you will see, if I press the escape button, you'll see down here that we've got 2 dimensions needed. So before we do those lines, we actually want to dimension it. So I'm going to click on my dimension tool here, and I'm going to go from the bottom line. So click on the bottom line. It thinks I want to dimension that line, although we've already done it. And then come up and click on the center of the circle line. And then I can bring my cursor down and I can move it off to the side, and I can click one more time. That dimension needs to be 60.5. And then you can press enter. So it's 60.5 high. And then I'm going to click my central line here, and I'm going to come across and I'm going to click the center of the circle once. And then I'm going to come down to the bottom here, and I'm going to click one more time, and that needs to be 65 millimeters. Now my circle is absolutely in the right position for me to work with, and you can see now down the bottom I've got fully constrained, which means the whole dimension. I've added all the dimensions and everything is locked in place. Now I can go to my line tool. I can hover over this central line until it locks onto the top of the circle, and just click that, and then click on the side, and there we go, that's drawn a line. Now, if I were to press escape and come out of the tool, you would see that 1 dimension is now needed, and that is the height of this. If I want to know which dimension, I can actually click this button here, and it shows that this line could move up and down. I'm going to take that back off because I don't like those symbols, and I'm going to, I could dimension it. Click on this dimension and click it from there to there and put the actual number in to stop it moving up and down. But there's a nice little button here which will lock it onto the tangent of that circle. So I'm going to click that button, I'm going to click that line, and again click the circle. You see this little, that's now locked in place, and you can see we're fully constrained. We're going to do exactly the same thing. Click on the line, we're going to click on the bottom of a circle, bring it all the way across, make sure it's parallel, not at an angle. You can see that little symbol show that it is now at a right angle to the other line. I'm going to click once there. You can see it's locked in place there. It can still move up and down, so we're going to click this tangent button again, which is a constrain button. We're going to click on the line and we're going to click on the circle. They are now locked in place and my sketch is fully constrained. So I'm not going to put it on the other side because we're going to mirror some things in a minute. I think the next thing we can do is click on the line tool here and we can just sort out the side here so that the base is a little bit less. So I'm going to just click from the top here and then click on the bottom, making sure I'm perpendicular to the base. That symbol shows I am. And then I'm going to dimension from this line, clicking once, come over. I don't like clicking on the center because it picks up that central point. I prefer to click just above there, and then I can come down and click one more time here, and that dimension should be 185 and click enter. Now we want to put a nice curve on this kind of central point, so we're going to use this fillet button here. The fillet button should have a radius of I think it's radius rather than diameter, maybe it's diameter. But we're going to put 15 in, it's radius, there we go, see it says radius. It's going to be 15. Before we do it, now I can click on this line and I can click on this line and it's added that radius in there at 15 millimeters. I'm going to press escape to get out of that tool. Once again, fully dimensioned, fully constrained there. Okay, the next thing that we want to add in here is where we want to put the route, which you've all done, a little bit later. So I'm going to use a rectangular box to do that. I'm going to come along here. I don't want to lock on here. Just be careful not to lock onto any central points. Okay, so about here is fine. And then I'm going to bring that all the way across and over to this side here. If you need to zoom out and zoom in, you can just use your mouse on your wheel on your mouse to do that. Make sure you lock it right onto that point. And before you press click, see that dimension there, which is changing as I go up and down? That one you want to change. You can see the other dimension, the kind of length that's staying at 445 because I'm right on the edge. So I want that to be 10 millimeters, okay, which is what it is on our point. So 10 millimeters, there it is. It's locked in place now at 10 millimeters. And then we're going to dimension from the top of our kind of piece to the top of the route, and we're going to bring that out here and we're going to place that at 22.5 and there we go. That's now locked and kept that down in place. The next thing we want to do is we want to account for the route which comes along the side. So I've got my line tool. I'm going to click somewhere around about here and bring it down perpendicular, straight down vertically. The symbol there shows that I've done that. And then I'm going to dimension the width of this. Make sure you don't click on that central button there. Just click somewhere around here and then on the top here. And we're going to click there and we're going to put this to, it should be, I believe, 13 millimeters. Okay, which is 1 millimeter more than the piece of wood that's going to end up going in there. All right, so that is now set to 13 millimeters. The last thing I need to do before I start mirroring everything is I'm going to put a point for where I'm going to drill. So we're going to click point there, and I'm just going to come in, zoom in maybe a little bit into this area here. Somewhere around about here, we're just going to click once like that. That's now added the point. We're going to dimension between here and here, and then we're going to click up here, and that's going to be 6 millimeters, which is halfway along the material that goes in there. That's where we're going to drill. So that's 6 millimeters away from the edge, and from the top down to the point, it should be 12.5 millimeters. So 12.5 millimeters. All right, there we go. That point is now set in place. Now I want to start mirroring things around. So we're going to use this mirror button, which is here. And now this kind of dialog box comes up. We want to select a number of different things that we're going to mirror. So I'm going to select the point. Okay, there it is. I'm going to select this line. I'm going to select this line, the circle and the line at the bottom, the fillet which I created, and this line here. That's everything that I want to mirror. Now I can select the mirror line button, come over, select that initial constrained line, construction line that you did, and then click apply, and it has now put everything over on this side, and as long as you dimensioned everything correctly, it will say fully constrained on the bottom. You have now finished drawing that sketch, so you want to finish the sketch. You can't see it, so if you remember before, the zoom all button means that it will come back out. There it is. That's the whole sketch finished. I would at this point save your sketch, save your work. You can't save it when you're inside a sketch, but we're not inside it anymore. We've gone from the sketch, we finished it, and we went back to 3D model. So I'm going to save it. I've already done it once, but you should now save that as probably class CAD, something like that. Okay, make sure you put it in a separate CAD folder inside Design Technology, not just in your documents. Save it appropriately, and there we go. We've saved that.